Hello my friends, I hope everybody is doing well. Today we are looking at the Tops Tanimboca puukko. And so, yeah, the puukko. I have been interested in the style of knife probably going back to this past summer. I bought a good friend of mine for his 50th birthday, a small Kellum puukko. And so it piqued my interest in the style, considering I like to carve. And I've carved a few little things here and there. I've been working on a little spatula. And so, but anyway, I researched the style for probably a good month or two before I decided on the tops. So my plan was to buy a Kellum or a Martini or something actually from Finland, but I kept coming across the tops. And I think that I did because of a couple of reasons. One is made in the USA, which I have no problem buying an imported knife. I own a Hella, I own a Mora. So I've kind of got the Scandinavian knives in my collection to begin with. So it wasn't that so much as that it was a full tang. And so most of the traditional puukkos from Finland are not full tang. Now typically they do come with a round wooden handle or bone and with no finger guard, as you can see here on the tops. Always with the Scandinavian grind. And so like I said in my research, I just kept coming back to the tops. And there was something besides just the full tang that just drew me to it. So I decided to pull the trigger on the tops. Not saying I won't collect one of those traditional Finnish puukkos, but for now, it's the tops, and I have really enjoyed it. Just one thing about this that's a little different from the traditional puukkos is the Scandi is not a true Scandi. You can see here that it comes up pretty high compared to the Hella Eggen, and so it also has a secondary bevel, which, you know, a lot of people who enjoy woodworking would say to profile that down to a 0 degree Scandi grind, which basically means from the top all the way, to the point where there's no secondary bevel. I actually enjoy it. I've been doing a lot of feather sticking with this, and I have no problem with the secondary bevel. And matter of fact, it just makes it a little bit more sturdy, not quite as brittle as a true Scandi. But anyway, let's get to some specs on this knife. So this knife is about 7.5 inches long complete, with about a 3.6 inch blade with a 3.5 inch edge. Also, it is a 1095 carbon steel with about a 56 to 58 RC, so it's pretty tough. It does have a bow drill divot, which is nice if you ever needed to do that. I haven't messed around with that too much. I absolutely love these red liners. Very nice accent on the blade. Canvas micarta handle, so really grippy. Now, a lot of people that I've talked to about the not having the finger guard, you just have to be careful. You know, obviously you can cut yourself with any knife, but the chances are a little bit more that could happen with this knife as well. One more thing to add, it's got a 90-degree spine. I've struck quite a few fires with it so far. It does fine. I'm not a huge fan of striking fires with my knife. That's why I keep a steel with my ferro rod. But anyway, overall, I've been carrying this knife for a little over a month, and I'm telling you, man, I really, really like it. It's got 2 holes here. Probably will never utilize those. Those are for, I've had a couple people tell me different things. One person mentioned that you could run paracord through it and do a wrist, you know, run it through here and make a little wrist thing for it, so you know you're nice and secure if you're doing anything heavy duty. that would require that. I think with a knife this small that you wouldn't. I think the design is for attaching it to a spear if need be. So one other thing that I wasn't 100% sure I would like are these brass screws. They're not rivets, they are screws. So, but anyway, I mean, I haven't had any issues with them coming loose or anything like that. And like I mentioned, I've done a fair amount of batoning and feather sticking. Not much chopping. The blade's not really long enough. It's not the knife's not hefty enough, even though it feels really solid in your hand. I mean, that chunk of steel is it's pretty tough. So let's do some size comparisons so you get a kind of a better idea of the size of the knife. So that is the Heli Egan. So you can see that's a 4-inch blade, that 1/2 inch right there you can see, you know, with the curly birch handle. So that's the Hella, and then kind of about the same with the Moore companion. You know, Moore 4-inch blade, or they're right there at it, but there's a comparison in size of the two. So I wasn't sure if I'd like the size for bushcraft, but I think I do. I think I might like it better than my other options that I have. I had to move the camera a little bit. The sun's getting low there. So just wanted to mention that the Tops Tanimboca puukko comes with a nice leather sheath. Unfortunately, it's only belt carry, so no scout carry with this one. I'm sure there are aftermarket sheaths out there that offer a scout carry, but nothing fancy. Got the Tops logo right there. So yeah, anyway, one thing I wanted to add in my research of Scandinavian knives, the reason why the majority of them are not full tang is because of the climate. Obviously, Nordic countries, it's very cold. So from what I understand, they just don't want that full tang and that cold steel against their hands or even their gloves or what have you. In our climate in Virginia, where it's, you know, 8 degrees one day and 65 the next, full tang's great. It adds a little bit of weight to the knife, but what it also adds is durability. Not that I have had any issues with stick tang or rat tail tang or whatever you want to call them, but I don't go banging around on them like I do a full tang knife. So I think that was part of my, you know, decision making when it came to this knife. Anyway, if you're looking for a American-made, full tang, small woodsman's knife, you can't go wrong with the Tops Tanimboca puukko. Have a good day.